Hey bro, I know you want to learn advanced attraction. I know you want to learn how to flirt with a girl without even saying a word. Now, have you been into a situation where you're in a club, you're in a bar, you're trying to talk to a girl, but the music is so loud कि बात ही नहीं हो पा रही है. And because of that, you're not able to build the conversation forward and you think that, how do I approach a girl in a club or a bar? And not only a club or a bar, guys, this will help you learn advanced attraction skills that not many people know about. Because this is going to help you come at an advanced level where you don't need those cheesy pickup lines, you don't need those routines. Because the strongest attraction is created through non-verbal cues, not verbal cues. Hello bro and welcome back to the channel. This is your coach Arunav and I help men like yourself get into a fulfilling relationship that you deserve. So if you're single, consider clicking the subscribe button. Now let's talk about the strongest non-verbal cue when it comes to actually building that attraction with a woman that you've probably just met or you've not even met. Without even actually talking to her, how can you build that attraction? Now, eye contact is one of the major things when it actually comes to building attraction. So I want to share a recent story with this. So recently I was in a bar with a couple of investors and we were just having a conversation and they're like, hey man, I know you're a dating coach. I want to see some skills. And I was like, okay, since I'm out, why not? There's this girl sitting on the right and a beautiful girl and I was kind of attracted to her. So I just looked at her and we actually spoke so much before even actually speaking, just with the power of the eyes. Now you need to understand how to do it the right way, because if you don't do it the right way, if you're just looking at the girl like this, she's gonna get creeped out. She's going to get creeped out, so you cannot creep her out. So how do you balance it? Hello bro, I have an important announcement to make. I'll be coming to your city, to Mumbai, to Bangalore and Delhi and doing workshops over there, teaching you the most updated dating strategies. And if you ever wanted to learn personally from me, this is the best time, because for the first 50 signups, the slots are gonna be completely free. Yes, you heard it right. It's going to be completely free. All you need to do is sign up with your full name, your email address, and your phone number. And if you win a free slot, my team is going to reach out to you and let you know. I hope to see you in your city. Now, you're going to learn it, but you have to push it over the edge a little bit. Because once you push it over the edge a few times, then you learn about the right eye contact. Now, I've pushed it over the edge a couple of times.
So much eye contact, how come? If I was telling you, I can't make so much eye contact.
I understand. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah,
So what you want to do with your eye contact is you want to spark intrigue and curiosity in the girl's mind. Now, how do you do that? First, you lock eyes, you keep looking at her for like 3 seconds or 2 seconds more than she's looking at you, and then you smile and then you just look away. That builds a lot of intrigues in the girl's mind. She's thinking at this point, what's this guy looking at me? Is this guy really checking me out like this? And that sort of makes her think a little bit about you. So your approach sort of warms up even before you do the approach. So that happens, but you cannot just constantly stare at her. Don't constantly stare at her with a blank expression, because this is where most people go wrong. They're just looking at the girl with like a complete blank expression. And what you need to do is you need to have a challenging smirk while you're looking at the girl. So another thing you want to do is first you start with like a sharp gaze. And the second thing, you soften your gaze a little bit while you're looking at her. You soften your gaze a little bit because this shows that, okay, you're not looking at her with aggressive eyes, but you soften your gaze. And then she knows, okay, this guy is probably attracted to me. So she's already expecting you to approach after that. But then you look away and then maybe after like a second or 5 seconds, you look back. You look back with a soft gaze. And you're just smiling and just looking at her for another 3 seconds before you actually stand up, you go up to her and you shake her hand. Now, the way you shake her hand also matters, because right now you build some pressure on the girl, so you want to release that pressure. And this is where, it's sort of push-pull for me, which, I'm giving my hand as a submissive handshake. It's not like an aggressive handshake, it's not more like dominant, but it's more like a submissive handshake. Now, once I give the submissive handshake to the girl, it sort of acts like push and pull. I'm going to make a video on push and pull. I know a lot of you have mentioned that you guys want it, so don't worry, I got you covered. The second thing that you need to learn about is what I was talking about, is the smile. Because if you're looking at the girl with a blank expression, no emotions are going to be raised in her. So what you want to do is you want to use non-verbal cues to actually invoke emotions in the woman, even without talking to her. So you need to have a challenging smirk, not like a smile like this or not showing your teeth too much. A challenging smirk, looking deep into her eyes. And what you need to do is you need to soften it a little bit while you're looking at her, so that she can see the change in expression as well and she can feel it. So it is the law of state transference which actually helps you in that, because you're transferring your state to the girl, even without talking it out, even without saying anything, just with your non-verbal cues. Now, why do you need a challenging smirk? Because a challenging smirk builds intrigue, it shows confidence, then you got to pull the smile back a little bit. You got to pull it back a little bit because you need to make her more curious. So you're smiling at her, you're looking at her, then you pull the smile back, you focus on what you're doing for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then you look back at her. Now, this is what you need to do if you want to get the girl attracted just with your eyes and just with your smile. Now, the next moment when you're actually talking to her, you need subtle touches. You need to use the power of physicality, because once you're actually touching a girl, even you're brushing her hand a little bit, it's going to give her a lot of emotions. But with this, you also have to make sure that you have the consent of the girl is comfortable in talking to you, because if she's not comfortable in talking to you, and if you're hesitant while you're doing the slight touch, and you don't do it like this, guys. Do not do it like this. What you need to do is you need to make it more natural. You need to make it seem more natural. So if you are not certain about it, if you think that the girl is not at that emotional wavelength, don't go ahead with it, because once you have that hesitation while you're doing the slight touch, she's going to notice it and she's going to reject your move. So you need to believe that it will work first, and only then you need to go for it. So I would touch the woman somewhere like this, on the back of her arm, because that's sort of a sweet spot. And when I'm touching her, I'm also giving her a compliment. Wow, you look beautiful, with deep eye contact. Now that is going to invoke a lot of emotions in her, and she's going to get attracted, because she's going to feel emotions at a different wavelength. She's going to feel happy, excited, passionate, and all of those emotions. And it's going to be out of a movie scene for her. But you also need to understand, you don't go overboard with the touch, because this is the time you're just meeting her. So even the moment you just brushed her hand, that's going to invoke certain emotions. Then you pull it slightly away, because that's going to create that intrigue that you actually want to get her obsessed. The next thing you need to do is you need to play with the proximity. Now, if you see my infields, you'll notice that I'm playing with the proximity a lot when I'm talking to women, because when I'm talking to a girl, I'm going in, I'm going out. And I use it a part of my push-pull as well, because, if I'm approaching the girl, I'm putting pressure on the girl. So I'm going 2 steps forward, 1 step back with a submissive handshake. Now, all of this is a little bit more advanced and nuanced. And if you guys want to learn this, let me know in the comment section, because what I've seen generally, what works on YouTube is this 6 major steps, 7 major steps, and no one wants that advanced knowledge. So if you guys actually want to learn that advanced steps of, having like advanced social skills, key it down in the comment section. I'll make sure that I reply to them personally. I'll make sure I create a video on this advanced push and pull that I'm talking about. So generally what I'm doing when I'm approaching a girl is I'm going 2 steps in and 1 step back. Now with 1 step back, it's releasing a lot of pressure from the girl. So I'm playing with the proximity through the entire interaction. Now what is the meaning of playing with the proximity? मैं थोड़ा पास जा रहा हूँ when I'm talking to her, I'm moving a little bit back. But I'm not doing it like this and this. You need to be subtle about it. You cannot do it too fast. So the girl shouldn't be feeling like you're a rocking head, because technically you cannot do this all the time. You need to be a little bit more subtle towards it when you're talking to the girl, and you need to see what's her reactions as well when you're moving in, when you're moving out. I had this one girl I spoke to in a bar, and I was just moving in, and she's like, hey, I'm not going to kiss you already. And I'm like, listen, I don't want to wake up pregnant tomorrow. And the girl bursts out laughing. Now again, using the push and pull technique, ended up setting a date with her then and there, but it was just fun conversation. Now you need to understand all of these things combined together in your arsenal. They're going to invoke a lot of emotions in the girl's head. But you need to be at that level where you're not operating from within your head. That's why I said this is a little bit more advanced. So if you're a new guy watching this, check out the channel, do some practice, come back to this video, because this is definitely going to help you excel at this skill. The last thing I want to talk about is if you really want to learn non-verbal cues of attraction, which is a little bit more advanced, as I mentioned, you need to be comfortable with silent pauses. You need to be comfortable with awkward silences. Rather than trying to fill all these awkward silences, you need to embrace them, you need to enjoy them. You need to just look at the girl when there's an awkward silence, and you just need to embrace it. You should not fill in all the gaps, because if you try to fill in that gap all the time, you're not going to be comfortable to actually build attraction through non-verbal cues. Now you know a lot more about how to create attraction using those non-verbal cues. If you're someone who wants to learn how to use verbal cues to build attraction, which basically means how to flirt with the woman the right way, or how women want you to actually talk to them, click over here and this video is going to take you there.